Hi guys, happy fucking Friday. Alright, so, how did you guys like the video from yesterday with the going into the Goetia, however the hell you say that word? I have no clue. I don't care. So, what did we go over yesterday? I don't remember. I really don't remember. Oh, evocation and invocation. So now we go on to part 4 with the Goetia. It's pretty interesting. Pretty fun. It's been a long time since I've done anything with these demons. Or they're actually demons or daemons, which they're not bad, so nobody worry. So, it is fucking warm. Alright, so here we go. So, there are 2 other things which you need to obtain for this ritual, other than your normal tools and the triangle of art, which is the triangle of manifestation. And I think you guys know how to use that and make it. So, the first is a set of 2 candle holders with stems long enough that that they may be held by the seer while he or she looks into the magic mirror. So alternatively, you may obtain candle stands, which reach the floor and are about 4 or more feet tall. Okay. Those are easily, you can find those anywhere. So needless to say, the latter are far more expensive. Not if you go to your local dollar store, they're not. Alright, so if you do not get the ones which can be handheld, make sure that they have big enough drip protectors so that the seer is not shocked by hot wax suddenly falling on his or her hands. Yeah. So this will also help prevent you from having to scrape wax off your carpet, off your flooring, or ironing it out of your carpet. And it's a bitch. It's a bitch. I don't even bother anymore. I don't bother because it's just too much. So, alright, the second necessary item is the seal of the entity that you wish to evoke. So, you have many different seals, and if you guys have this book, look them up and use them. If not, you can actually find them online, everywhere. So, for this you must get a copy of the Goetia. So, get a copy of it. Each seal represents and gives power to deal with an associated entity called a spirit. So, to determine which spirit to call and which seal to use, you will need to look through the book and see which powers each spirit offers. So, what are you wanting to do? Change something? Ooh. That felt weird. Really weird breeze. Alright, so. So let us say, for example, that you have reached a point in your life where you do not wish to be bothered by other people and their problems. Oh, yes. You want to be alone. Yes. This is the true meaning of invisibility when described in the grimoires. So, when Aleister Crowley did his thing with, being invisible, that, boom, exactly. So invisibility does not mean that you will become transparent, but that others act as if you are not there. So, looking through the description of the spirits, you find the name Baal. I can't say that. Baal? Whatever. So Baal, whatever, is said to have the power to maketh thee to go invisible. So he appeareth in divers shapes, sometimes like a cat, sometimes like a toad, and sometimes like a man, and sometimes all of these forms at once. He speaketh hoarsely. So I love how I love that type of Old English. Further, we are told that the seal must be worn like a necklace by the seer, or else he, Baal, pardon me for not saying your name correctly, Baal, will not do thee homage. So, the seal of Baal looks like this. Alright, so we have the seals. You guys can actually get this all online too. That's the seal of Baal. Wait, I'm on the wrong page. Very different. Very, very different. So you guys can actually screenshot that that's his seal, his sigil, whatever you want to call it. Why am I like orange? Come on, bring back my, there we go. Okay, perfect. There we go. True colors. Alright, so that's the sigil of, or the seal of, I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Baal. Pronounce Baal, whatever. So, it may, alright, so you can actually make it on paper. As per the lesson on talismans, so we've already gone over talismans on how to make those. A string needs to be attached so that it may go around the seer's neck, but it must be long enough that without removing the string from around his or her neck, the seer may pick it up and look at it. So you must look at these sigils. You let them come in and out of consciousness, or visibility. So when they start to disappear, lines start to disappear, regular lines start to appear again. You're getting that soaked up into your subconscious mind. So, set up the temple as usual and place your triangle of art outside the circle in the east. A chair may be placed in the east within the area of the circle for the seer. So if you feel that the seer may need it. So, both of you should be robed and the seer should wear the seal. So the two candelabras should be in the east on either side of the chair. So if there is a chair, or to either side of the space where the seer will stand. So these two candles should not be lit at all. You will also want a pencil or pen and some paper to write down any messages the seer may give you. So for solitary practitioners, iPads work perfect. Set up your camera, record, just hit voice record, and it works. So that's how I've done a lot of my rituals when it calls for a secondary person, because I don't trust people. So, alright. Where did I go? Okay, so the seer should be in the east of the circle, facing east. So there should be incense near the seer so that he or she will inhale much of the smoke. So this is for educational purposes only, just to give you guys a glimpse into how these rituals were done. It's not suggested that you do them. So, just a little warning. Alright, so, perform the opening by watchtower. As you do, the seer should pay no attention to the ritual. It is the seer's task to stare and contemplate the seal. So, any method to alter the consciousness of the seer should already have begun, with the exception of self-hypnosis, which should wait until after the opening. So if you have enough people, one should be assigned the task of making sure that the incense is always flowing toward the seer. You might need another person for this. Maybe. Unless your third eye is very open. So, make sure that when casting the circle, you walk outside the seer so that the seer is definitely within the magical circle. So the operator should stand behind the seer and light, or have someone light the seer's candles. So put the candles in the seer's hands. This will force the seer to drop the seal. So make sure that when it hangs down, the seal is facing out. If you are using floor-standing candelabras, tell the seer to let go the seal and stare into the magic mirror. Tell the seer in a smooth, comforting voice. So this is pretty fun. It's interesting. So staring deeply into the mirror, do not look at it, but into it. Move the candles so that you can see yourself, but so that you do not directly see the reflection of the candle's flame. Stare deeper, deeper, deeper. Alright, so a little bit of a, what is that called? What is that called, you guys? When you, power of suggestion, there we go. Alright, so now it is time to do the first conjuration. When a spirit's name is mentioned and it is capitalized, you should use the appropriate name of the spirit that you are evoking in a place of. In this example, Baal. So, alright, now here is the conjuration. I hope I don't conjure anything. No, I'm kidding. So I do evocate. I do evocate and conjure thee, O spirit Baal. And being with power armed from the supreme majesty, I do strongly command thee by the most powerful princes, Guinea, I don't know these names, chief prince of the seat of Hallelujah, in the 9th Legion I do evoke thee, and by evocation conjure thee. Wow. Alright, so these are really, really... Yes. They're very intricate. So I will blog these if you guys want. I can actually blog these. So you're going to be vibrating the names. Different names of God, the Tetragrammatron. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Elohim. All of those. So, Shaddai. You're going to be, I'm doing a lot. Alright, now, so that was the conjuration of Baal. Now, you may repeat this as often as you wish, so pause after the conjuration and ask the seer if he or she sees anything in the mirror. If after a short pause the seer has no vision, you should repeat the conjuration. Although you may repeat it as much as you like, I have found that after 3 or 4 times, my interest wanes. So yeah, don't let your interest wane at all, because then it just ruins the entire session of what you're trying to do. So then you should move on to the next conjuration. If the seer interrupts and claims seeing something in the mirror, finish the conjuration before going on to the questionings. That's when you question the spirit. You have your questions. It's kind of like the Ouija. Only more complicated. So, alright, where'd I go? Okay, so however, if there is no appearance after the above first conjuration, go on to the second one as follows. Alright, I'm going to try this one. I have not done this in a long time. So I do evocate, conjure, command thee, O thou spirit Baal, to appear and to show thyself visibly unto me before this circle in fair and comely shape, without any deformity or tortuosity, by the name and in the name. Now you're going to vibrate Yah and Vav, which Adam heard and spake, and by the name of God vibrate Gla, which Lot heard and was saved with his family, and by the name you're going to vibrate Ot, which Jacob, who was delivered from the hand of Esau, his brother, from the angel wrestling with him. Oh, they wrestled. And by the name you're going to vibrate this Fax Ton, which Aaron heard and spake and was made wise. Alright, so these conjurations are so long. These conjurations are very long. So, and by the name you're going to vibrate Za-Ba-At, which Moses named, and all the rivers were turned into blood. Oh wow, that'd be neat. And by the name you vibrate this Asher-Ehe-Ye Oriston, which Moses named, and all the rivers brought forth frogs. Aw, I love frogs. And they ascended into the houses, destroying all things. Ooh, well, no, I don't. And by the name, you're going to vibrate El-Yon, which Moses named, and there was great hail. Oh, yeah, we had hail last night, so such as had not been since the beginning of the world. And by the name vibrate Adonai, which Moses named, and there came up locusts, which appeared upon the whole land and devoured all which the hail had left. And by the name vibrate Shema Matiyah, which Joshua called upon, and the sun stayed its course. Yes, wow. Okay, so, and by the name Alpha and Omega, which Daniel named and destroyed Bel, and slew the dragon, and the name of, you're going to vibrate Emmanuel, which the 3 children, I don't know those names, I cannot pronounce them for the life of me, sang in the midst of the fiery furnace, and were delivered. And by the name vibrate Hagios, and by the throne of vibrate Adonai, and by vibrate Iskiros Athanatos Parakletos, and by, you're going to vibrate O Theos Iktros Athanatos, and by the 3 secret names vibrate Agla On Tetragrammatron, do I adjure and constrain thee. So, and then it goes on. So we have a bit more to go on with. And by these names, and by all the other names of the living and true God, the Lord Almighty, I do exercise and command thee, O Spirit Baal, even by God who spake the word, and it was done, and to whom all creatures are obedient, and by the dreadful judgments of God, and by the uncertain sea of glass which is before the divine majesty, mighty and powerful, by the four beasts before the throne, having eyes before and behind, by fire around the throne, by the holy angels of heaven, and by the mighty wisdom of God, I do potentially exercise thee, that thou appearest here before this circle to fulfill my will in all things, which shall seem good unto me. By the name, you're going to vibrate, Bas Da, the A, Baal, Donk, E, Donk, He, A. And by this name, you're going to vibrate Prime U Ma Tan, which Moses named, and the earth opened and did swallow up Korah, Dathan, and Abraham. So, wherefore thou shalt make faithful answers unto all my demands, O Spirit Baal, and shalt perform all of my desires, so far as thine office thou art capable thereof. Wherefore come now, visibly peaceable, and affably, now without delay, to manifest that which I desire, speaking with a clear and perfect voice, intelligibly, and to make mine understanding. So, a lot of practice. You're going to need to practice with these conjurations. A lot of practice. So I suggest if you have the book and you're wanting to do this, which is very amazing stuff in this book, you do it. But make sure you read and read and read and read and read. I have read this book like 12 times, and I still have trouble with some of these rituals. Middle pillar ritual, I still have. It's nuts. Okay, so again, ask the seer if he or she sees anything in the mirror. So, if the answer is yes, proceed to the questionings. If not, you may repeat this second conjuration, or any of those that follow in the grimoire. So you have also, you may also chant the name of the spirit you are trying to contact over and over, as if it were a mantra. So this is especially effective if you have a group of 10 or more people. I couldn't imagine being with 10 or more people and doing ritual. I think it would take, for me personally, a lot of time and the building of a relationship with all these people, and trust, definitely. So, although there are many more conjurations in the Goetia, it has been my experience that the first 2 will more than suffice. This guy is great. Donald Michael Craig is great. Bless his soul. So, if after reciting them 3 times each with no result, it is fair to conclude that you are not going to have any luck, and that the seer is not capable of learning anything at this time. If the seer informs you that he or she does see something, but it is unclear, everyone should chant the name of the spirit until the seer says the vision is clear. So once it is clear, proceed to the questionings. Alright, so this is just very ritualistic. I mean, this is Goetia, so you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to follow these instructions to the T. There's really no room for improvisation or what is that? I can't even whatever. Yeah, alterations. You can't alter this. I wouldn't anyway. So, all right. The questionings. Number 1. The first question to ask is directed toward the seer. Simply ask, what do you see in the mirror? So if the seer says nothing or gives no reply, repeat one of the evoking conjurations. If the seer describes a scene, write down what is reported with the paper and writing implement, which was put in the circle for this purpose. If the seer describes an entity, see if it matches the description in the grimoire you are using. In this case, Baal. He normally appears as a cat, toad, man, or all 3 at once. If the entity appears in a shape so unusual or weird, as will sometimes happen, it does happen. So you guys have seen my conjuration with the jinn, and I will be doing that today with that guy. He's like 55,000 years old. That's how old he is. I channeled him the other night and it was crazy. It was too much. I had to cut it off and I went to bed and it was weird. Alright, now if the entity appears... Oh, that was raining. Alright, if the entity appears in a shape or an unusual or weird, as will sometimes happen, that the seer is frightened or upset, say loudly and in a firm voice. So if you get freaked out, do this. I do evocate, conjure, and command thee, O thou spirit Baal, to show thyself in a fair and comely shape, without any deformity or tortuosity, by the name and powers of, you're going to vibrate Eheye, Asher, Eheye, and Yod-He Vav-He Elohim. When recited, the figure should change appearance. If it does not, immediately give the license to depart, which is given later in this lesson, and thoroughly banish the area. So, for the wrong entity has appeared and as a result of your magic. So, just be careful, because So, if the spirit is of pleasant appearance or takes on such an appearance at your command, you're going to want to move on to number 2 and ask the spirit, what is thy name? The seer should respond by saying, I feel his name is blank, or he says his name is blank, followed by the spirit's name. So, you will find that the entities that we deal with do not lie. However, they do not always give a full answer, or one that is intelligible to you. So, as an example of this, they may give another name by which they are known, or may simply refuse to answer. If this happens, then you're going to say, by the power of, you're going to vibrate all the letters with your lesser banishing ritual pentagram dagger in the air and visualize the letters in bright blue. Yod-He Vav-He, I command you to tell us your true name without hesitation or equivocation. So at this time, you should get the correct reply. If the spirit gives its name as being the one you are seeking to contact, continue to the welcome below. If not, give the license to depart, thoroughly banish the area. Alright, so this is to welcome the spirit of Baal. So welcome, O most noble spirit Baal. I say, thou art welcome unto me, because I have called thee through God, whom has created heaven and earth, and all that is in them contained, and because also thou hast obeyed the will of God and mine own will, by appearing here now, by that same power by which I have called thee forth, I bind thee for a time, that thou remain affably and visibly here before this circle, and within this triangle, so long as I shall have occasion for thy presence, and do not depart without my license until thou hast duly and faithfully performed my will without any falsity. Alright, so that's the welcome. So now, standing behind the seer, point the dagger used in the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, directly at the triangle outside of the circle, and say, by the power of God have I called thee, give unto me a true answer. So, now, you are going to want to now state what it is you desire of the entity you have summoned. In this case, Baal, you would ask, what are the secrets of invisibility? So, very interesting stuff, especially for the invisibility part. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think that would be a really good thing to do. I mean, it would be a big help, literally, in trying to kind of just stay low-key if you're afraid. If you're having issues with people, or, you know, whatever drives you to become invisible. So, alright, now, where'd I go? Okay, so, have the seer tell you anything and everything the spirit says. So, even if it's online, I mean, like at night, I literally channel that, Jinn from Pompeii. Literally Pompeii. Crazy. And it's always recorded. It's always taken note. So, alright, so, point toward, or, no. So, points toward or does, and copy what the seer says on the paper you have brought for that purpose. Once this part of the Once this part of the evocation is complete, give out loud the license to depart. So, O Spirit, O thou Spirit Val, thou hast diligently answered unto my demands, and hast been very ready and willing to come at my call. I do here license thee to depart unto thy proper place. Go now in peace to thy abodes and habitations, causing neither harm nor danger unto humans or beasts. Depart then, I say, be thou very ready to come at my call. When duly conjured by the sacred rites of magic, I charge thee to withdraw peaceably, and quietly, and may the peace of God be ever continued between thee and me. So mote it be. So, you're going to finish the ritual with the closing by Watchtower. So that will be given in another video, and it will be blocked. So it is not necessary to have it is not necessary to have a seer. You can act as the seer yourself. However, it is much easier to have a seer, so that one of you can perform the ritual while the other concentrates on the magic mirror. Alright, so we're getting into a little more of how we can do this without another person. Okay, so also you will probably have noticed that I did not tell you the appropriate incense to use, nor the appropriate time to do this ritual, nor the appropriate color symbolism. So, there is an important reason for this. The purpose of this course is not to make you sort of familiar with magic. It is not to have you read and be somewhat familiar with stacks of books on the subject. It is the purpose of this course to make you a practicing magician. Should you merely be able to follow books, you will never be more than a hack writer is to literature. So, and frankly, a few Hemingways, Lagoons, and something are worth 1,000 formula novelists. So this is not to say that there isn't a place for redundant romance novels or comic book magicians. There is, but it is not what I hope this course will produce. Luckily, wherever you are, it is not. So I think you can be happy. So yes, this is the time the ritual is performed is important. The color symbolism is important, the choice of incense is important, but at this time I leave it to you to figure out and go back over these lessons, and you should have no problem doing so. As a hint, compare what the spirit can offer you with the talismanic magic chart. So, from there, you should be able to get the planet and Sephira. So, those are the little circles in the Tree of Life. Or the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. So, the rest should be obvious. So, it's very obvious to me. If it is not, start this entire course over, for you have not really understood the information presented here. So, it's not difficult, but it's patience and devotion and sincerity. So, alright, the Goetia has the seals, names, and descriptions of 72 different spirits, each having various talents and powers which can be shared with you. Much of the book, it is sad to say, has picked up the junk and the extra senses of centuries of repression and stupidity. I love this guy. Some sections of the Goetia refer to the books of the Lesser Key of Solomon, of which the Goetia is but one. Unfortunately, there is only one source for the complete Lesser Key, and it's rather expensive and of poor quality. Wow. So, however, with the instructions in this course and the commonly available editions of the Goetia, you can have virtually years of practical work and experimentation. So the most commonly available version is titled The Lesser Key of Solomon, Goetia, the Book of Evil Spirits, and they're not evil. So this title, however, is quite misleading, for in this book you are dealing with energies or forces, which take on a type of personality. But they are no more evil forces than electricity, so another force is good or evil. So, yeah, it's neutral. They're all neutral. So, even though evil is not a question in this particular instance, karma is. Even something which superficially seems to be positive may lead to karmically negative actions. So, before acting on the advice of any Goetic spirit, be sure to do divination in order to be positive. that you will not be performing any magic or action which would unknowingly lead to deleterious results. Ooh, big words, I like it. So, since this is not a course in Goetic magic, I will not be giving you 72 examples, one for each spirit. Rather, at this time, I again urge you to obtain a copy of the book and simply follow the pattern given in the ritual above. Replace the name Baal with the name of the spirit from the Goetia you wish to evoke. Use the appropriate seal as given in that text. So, until you can obtain a copy of the book, or if you merely wish to try out some Goetic magic and see if it appeals to you, in the following pages are a few examples of Goetic spirits, their seals, description, and purposes. So, we have a few. We have Aman. Wow, my allergies are really bad today. I don't know what's going on. So we have Aman. I wish it would rain. It needs to rain. Like, big time. Alright, now we have for Aman. So above is the seal of the spirit Aman. Aman is great in power and is also said to be very stern. He looks like a wolf with the tail of a serpent and breath of fire. So at the command of the magician, Aman will charge to look like a man with a raven's head. How interesting. Sometimes there are dog's teeth or fangs in the head of this raven. Aman will give you information on all things past and things yet to be. Having a neutral nature, he can help reconcile differences between friends. However, he can also cause feuds. Needless to say, care must be taken in asking for what you desire of Aman. So, and next we have Buer, I think. So, alright. So above is the seal of the spirit Buer. Buer should only be evoked during the astrological sign of Sagittarius, which actually it is right now, Sagittarius. Or it's tomorrow with the full moon, because the full moon is tomorrow and it will be, I think, Sagittarius. Or it's going to be in Sagittarius. So, and appears in the Sagittarian centaur. So he teaches science and philosophy, including such things as mathematics, ethics, logic, and physics. Kind of sounds like Thoth. A little bit. So his specialty is teaching the secret magical and medicinal powers of herbs and plants. He also has healing powers, especially over psychological pain. That would be nice. That would be nice. So, below is the seal of the spirit Botis. Botis? Yes. At first it will appear as an ugly viper, but on the command of the magician changes into the shape of a man with great teeth, fangs again. 2 horns, and carrying a sword of exquisite sharpness and brightness. When evoked, he can offer things similar to Aman. Note the similarity with the change of appearance on the fangs. So, Botis is said to tell all things from the past and those yet to be. He can also reconcile disagreements between friends and foes. So, quite interesting. I mean, the Goetia is very interesting. We have a lot. I mean, there are quite a few. So, alright, we have one more to go over. Alright, and this is, so, I'm not sure what this is. So, as an historical document, the Goetia is fascinating. Several spirits are nothing more than deities of earlier cultures. Just like pagan gods and goddesses turned into saints. Kaboom. Alright, so. Alright, thus the spirit Astaroth is nothing more than a form of the goddess Astaroth, also known as Astarte and Isis, revealing a Judeo-Christian paternal bias. The spirit Astaroth becomes a male. This certainly helps to validate the sociological theory that the gods and goddesses of any culture become the demons of the following culture. Perfect. That's perfect. And with the church's influence, even goddesses become male demons. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, kind Kind of sad that they demonize everything, but whatever. Alright. So, he says, I recently saw a program on television wherein the studio was decorated to appear as a cave. The speaker was putting forth some bizarre hysteria about how a fantasy role-playing game was resulting in demon possession and people leaving Christianity. I wonder what game that was. What card game? Is it a game? A role-playing game? Huh. Alright, since this program was on a religious network, the purpose of this program had to be only to appeal to the paranoia of those who already believe in one form of Christianity. Wow, lots of manipulation. So, however, another Christian writer, a theologian, and radio personality, personality says that Christians cannot be demon-possessed. Therefore, this TV program presented a philosophy not even in accord with other Christian apologists. Of course, one good way to keep large numbers of people under your control is to keep instilling fear into them. That's awful. So this seems to be a major function of Christian broadcasting. In any event, I disagree totally with the TV program's content as being nothing more than irrationalist, fear-inducing, paranoid superstition. Pat Robertson, if he's still alive. Surprised he is. So, to be fair, much of occultism is also hidden in the stupidity of paranoia and superstition. Very true. Very true, and I love it. So, alright. A recent book I read on occult topics used the National Enquirer and a Hare Krishna magazine as sources for information, and even if the author did not understand that the National Enquirer is not necessarily considered an example of journalistic excellence. The National Enquirer. Wow, I'm surprised I haven't been in there yet. He should have checked for other sources too. He should have also realized that the Hare Krishna magazine would present things in order to make their organization look good. So, truth and reality notwithstanding, so I repeat here, don't take my word or anybody else's word for anything in occultism. So this is really important right now, especially with what's going on with all the witches and people that think they're warlocks. And warlock is actually a very, very negative term. It does not mean male witch. It means basically evildoer, manipulator, poisoner. That's what the Bible refers to, a poisoner. But I don't believe in that, so. But I do believe that that word shouldn't be used for male witches. I think it's just not good. It's not good for us. It's just like a bad. It's ridiculous. Warlock. That's a movie. So check it out and research it for yourself. Dion Fortune said, there is no room for authority in occultism. In reference to occult studies, this was succinctly put forth in a bumper sticker which simply read, question authority. Question authority. Just don't believe everything that you... Yeah. I mean, nobody is higher than anybody else in the occult world. I don't care if you're bloodline, I don't care. It does not make a difference whatsoever. It's in you, it's what you do, it's how you practice. It's what you do throughout your daily life, how you incorporate your magic. That. Alright, so, by now you might be thinking, what does this all have to do with magical evocation and the Goetia? Well, I want to tell you that I like to think that I am not paranoid, but I have in my possession something which scares me. Although I doubt demon possession is the result of playing simple fantasy role-playing games, I have a similar game which features evocations from the Goetia and playing pieces which are nothing less than miniature versions of the seals of the spirits from the Goetia. Alright, now that's really neat. I'm sure he took this very seriously too. Although this game has had a rather small circulation, it certainly gives no danger to trained occultists. It could be a problem for a person who has latent magical abilities and spends some time looking at the game pieces. That type of person with no magical training or protective preparations could be quite shocked upon seeing a weird figure in a reflective surface. Jumanji? Is that what I'm thinking of? So such a scare could hurt an unknowing person's psyche. Yes, definitely. I mean, occultists back then, when this book was written, understood the psychological issues. So, big time. You have to be careful. So it can really, hurt your psyche and grasp on reality. I fear also that people may become obsessed with certain thoughts and ideas, whether they belong occultic, magical, or other lines. For a person magically trained, such as you are, if you have been following the teachings of this course, obsession or possession is not a problem. For untrained, easily influenced people, care is needed. That is why I hope that copies of the game I possess receive no further circulation than they already have. With this, we end our study of Goetia. Well, I wonder what game that is. God, there's so many out there. I honestly have no clue what's going on. That's really different. That's really different. I really want to know. I really want to know what game that would be. So, alright, before moving on to another book of evocational material, I'd like to pause and share another ritual of protection. So the focus of this course has been on modern Kabbalistic theory. What I have somewhat, whatever that word is, called the WASP Kabbalah. W-A-S-P, Kabbalah. The system is based on earlier mystical Judaic traditions, which in turn had been passed on even earlier Semitic, pre-Semitic, and non-Semitic sources. So in contradistinction, whatever, to WASP Kabbalah is what I have called the kosher Kabbalah, like kosher salt. A Kabbalistic philosophy which has eschewed many later influences which had de-Judified Kabbalistic tradition. I am personally delighted to see a growing Jewish Kabbalistic resurgence in both the West and the Middle East. So it is hoped that as a result, many previously rare and untranslated or poorly translated texts will become, that was a really weird head jerk, will become available to imperfect students such as myself. Oh. As an example of this need, one of the most important Kabbalistic magical texts, a book on talismans known as the Sefer Ratziel, to my knowledge, has not been translated into English. Maybe it has by now. I searched out and found a Hebrew copy of it at the University of Judaism in Los Angeles, California. It was about 60 years old and in poor condition, so the type used was somewhat dissimilar to the style most commonly used today. That, along with printing, which cut off portions of letters, made the book impossible for me to try and translate. That would be awful. Crap, it's raining. So another important book not yet translated is by the famous Rabbi Isaac Luria. It is called The Revolution of Souls, and it is about reincarnation. Much of this theory has been presented in these lessons, which I learned from secondhand sources. Perhaps some true scholar of mystical bent will try his or her hand with the necessary task of translating these two books, as well as many of the others which sit and waiting for a time when they may illuminate the world. So, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if those books are actually, translated. So, the reason I am again talking about the kosher Kabbalah is that many people have asked me if there are any uniquely kosher Kabbalistic rituals, and of course there are. And I have recently found a good protective ritual of this sort. It is based totally on Jewish source, and most importantly on the Sefer Yetzirah. In the Sefer Yetzirah, we are told that God sealed the various directions of space with the various permutations of 3 letters of the ultimate name. So, those 3 letters being Yod He Vav. Using this as a basis, I present a ritual which can be used in place of the rose cross ritual. So, he calls it the Yetziratic sealing rite. Alright, so this rite requires only a candle of purest white, a stick of incense, and a match or lighter. So step 1. Face east and light the candle on the table or altar which is before you. Now hold the fingers of the hands in 3 groups each. The little finger and ring finger are together. The middle finger and index finger are together, and the thumb is by itself. So it is the traditional hand position of blessing used by the Jewish high priests. Alright, so just like that. Just like that. Yep. So hold your hands as if blessing the candles like this and say, "Blessed out there, O Lord, vibrate Yud He Vav He, ruler of the universe, who hath consecrated and commanded us to kindle the sacred lights." So, pretty easy. Now, step 2. Step 2. Take the incense in your right hand and light it from the flame of the candle. While it is still flaming, say, "Let the whole universe know that one God, who is my God, vibrate Yud He Vav He," and blow out the incense so that it only smokes. Step 3. Look up and say, "I seal the heights with," you're going to vibrate the God name, Yud He Vav He. Step 3. B. Look down and say, "I seal the abyss with," vibrate Yud Vav He. Spelling the letters with the incense. I'll have to, literally vlog this for you guys, because I don't know if you can see the actual Hebrew writing in there. It's very, it's hard. It's very, very hard. So, alright. Looking forward to the east, say, "I seal the east with He Yud Vav." Again, spelling the letters. I don't know those letters. In a similar manner, vibrate and spell the words in the following actions. Step 3. D. In a clockwise direction, turn 180 degrees to the west and say, "I seal the west with He Vav Yud." Step 3E. Turn clockwise 270 degrees to the south and say, "I seal the south with Vav Yud He." Step 3F. Turn clockwise 180 degrees to the north. Say, "I seal the north with Vav He Yud." Step 4. Turn clockwise 90 degrees back to the east. Reassume the position of priestly blessings, the hand movement, the blessing, as in step 1. Say, so in this way does this microcosm repeat the macrocosm, and the whole world is blessed. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Salah, salah, salah. Amen, amen, amen. Step 5. Now you may abide in the peace for as long as you wish. The rite is ended. So, it's pretty much a peaceful rite. A very peaceful rite. So I will definitely get that blog for you guys and see what we have going on. So tomorrow we'll go with the Greater Key of Solomon, Part 5. Which has some very interesting stuff in it. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoy. I have to go clean. Yuck. So, my Lou, I can't wait to see you. Oh my god, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and I have you. I'm so excited, it's gonna be great. So, alright guys, I love you all very much. I hope you guys have a great weekend. All my love, all the way from Venus. Oh, I'm off backwards. All the way back down. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Ouija sessions. I still have Ouija sessions for the weekend. I have openings for tarot readings, anything you want. Spell work, all of it, with the Jinn. So, alright guys, I love you all, and thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow with the Greater Key of Solomon.